CGTN, China Global Television Network.
When we first started looking at giraffes, we thought they were everywhere. But they've gone extinct in at least 7 African countries in the last 100 years.
Giraffe numbers continue to decline in the wild, and only 10% of their historical range remains.
We can see the giraffes there.
A team of conservationists, led by Dr. Julian Fennessy, commit to save Africa's giraffe before it's too late.
Animal data, you copy.
Play ball, play ball, play ball.
Get ready. Do it. Hold. Close it.
And 220 for length. 120 for width.
In their race to stop the decline, the team must confront the challenges of a modernizing world. Groundbreaking discoveries provide new insights into the lives of these gentle giants. And in an unprecedented effort to save the species, the team attempts to return giraffe to their former range.
It's amazing that it's been so much work done on elephant, lion, but giraffe, they've really been a forgotten animal. And that's why we call it the silent extinction.
Over 1 million giraffe once roamed Africa's diverse habitats. From the lush banks of the Nile to the mountainous deserts of Namibia. Until recently, it was believed that these giraffe were all one species due to how similar they looked. But genetic studies have revealed that there are in fact a number of separate giraffe species.
One of the most amazing things we found out for conserving giraffe is there's 4 species. There's the northern, there's the reticulated, the Maasai, and the southern. The northern has 3 different subspecies of that, which is the West African giraffe, the Kordofan, and the Nubian. Reticulated and Maasai, they don't have any, but then the southern have both Angolan and South African subspecies.
Today, only 10% of these historic populations remain. The most vulnerable to extinction is the West African giraffe. 600 individuals cling on in an isolated pocket on the edge of the Sahara Desert.
Au Niger, les gens vivent en harmonie dans le pays. Et le Nigérien, il est très hospitalier. Ce qu'il faut comprendre des Nigériens, d'abord, entre nous, il y a beaucoup de liens de cousinage. Donc, en matière de biodiversité, il y a beaucoup d'enjeux dans le cadre de la conservation. Et maintenant, le sujet qui nous préoccupe cette année, c'est surtout la girafe.
Many people would not know it, but Niger is home to the last West African giraffe in the wild. There's none in any zoos around the world. They're right here. Together with the Niger government and the Sahara Conservation Fund and the local community, we're here to try and make a huge difference to help save the last West African giraffe.
Dr. Julian Fennessy is one of the world's leading authorities on giraffe. He co-founded the Giraffe Conservation Foundation, a science-based organization focused on saving giraffe in the wild. Julian is in Niger to attempt the first ever translocation of West African giraffe in order to establish a new population within their former range. He heads 60 kilometers outside of the capital city Niamey to the Kouri region, where the remaining population of West African giraffe shares their home with human neighbors. Unlike elephants, lions, or leopards, there is no direct conflict for resources between giraffe and humans. Jermogui Magagi is the leader of the local community who has played a critical role in safeguarding this precious population.
Les girafes vivent avec la population. Le gouvernement du Niger a eu la présence d'esprit d'organiser la conservation, la protection. Et maintenant, elles se sont multipliées, ces girafes-là. Vraiment, nous en sommes fiers d'avoir pu conserver les dernières girafes de l'Afrique de l'Ouest.
The West African giraffe is a subspecies of the recently sort of proclaimed northern giraffe, which includes all of those across Central and West Africa. They call them the white giraffe. They're really pale in colour. They have no patternings from the knees down. And really, I think, you know, they are absolutely beautiful. The West African giraffe only live in and amongst communities. There's no national park. It is part of a larger man and biosphere reserve, but every day you see these giraffes walk in and around people.
In the early 90s, West African giraffe were on the brink of extinction. Ali Abagana played a vital role along with the Nigerian government and local communities in establishing the Giraffe Zone, where the remaining individuals were protected as their population slowly began to recover. Ali has been involved in the Translocation plan since its conception.
On est passé dans les années 92 à une cinquantaine d'individus, mais en 2017, nous avons déjà 607 individus. Et maintenant, les techniciens, on s'est penché sur cette problématique. On a vu que l'espace sur lequel ces espèces évoluent, l'espace est toujours le même. La communauté locale, le nombre a augmenté. Les girafes, le nombre a augmenté. L'espace que ces deux utilisent n'a pas diminué. Et puis, il y a la dégradation des ressources. Déjà, maintenant, il faut penser, avant que le problème ne se pose avec acuité, quelle est la solution que les techniciens doivent trouver.
There's lots of females to be able to think about collaring.
Can you see it? It's the one in the middle walking to the river.
The Giraffe Conservation Foundation was started in 2009.
Not this one, because it's a male. It's that second one there.
The team operates in 16 African countries and have an impact on more than 45 million acres of giraffe habitat.
GCF is a small organisation working across the continent purely to help save giraffe in the wild. We work really closely with communities, to governments, to research institutions. Every decision we make is based on solid science.
They start getting twitchy.
It's critical to know which giraffe is which and where it lives. For biodiversity reasons, we need to be able to protect them all individually.
My name is Naomi, this is Audi, and that's Martha. We are from the Giraffe Conservation Foundation, and that's the only organization that concentrates on conserving and managing giraffes in the wild throughout Africa. So their main job is to look after giraffes. Do you guys think they are doing a great job? Yes. Sure? Yes. Why?
Yes, because they are taking care of the giraffes and conserving them.
So the reason why you can see giraffes today is because somebody has been conserving them. So if there was nobody looking after them in the past, then you guys won't see the giraffes today.
You can only be passionate and save what you know. If you have never seen wildlife, if you have never experienced nature, there is no incentive to look after it. KEEP is the Commerce Environmental Education Program. It's an environmental education program we run in Windhoek in the Commerce region, which is the capital region here in Namibia. And the idea started some years ago when we visited our kids' school and gave a talk about giraffe and then just asked, who of you have seen a giraffe in the wild? And only about 50% of the children raised their hand. And Julian and I realized, how come that so few children have seen wildlife, and how can they care about something that they have never seen?
I've never seen a giraffe before, so I want to see a giraffe because a giraffe is very special.
So you guys are going to be team wild in this?
The first time when I saw an elephant, I was 22 years old. I was very much taken back. It's an experience of a lifetime. And since then, that created the interest for me to get involved in conservation. In my view, community-based conservation is trying to involve communities in being decision makers when it comes to conservation aspects. They are not to be consulted, they need to be part and parcel of the partnership. Communities need to benefit from conservation, so partnership is really critical.
The concept of KEEP is really simple. We take kids for one school day and take them to a national park or to a natural area just not far from their home and just show them the beauty of their own country. And we don't only talk about wildlife, but we talk about conservation.
So in our very first activity, we are going to track animals. Have you guys tracked animals before? Who has ever tracked animals before?
Our priorities should be investing in the African child, where we expose our youth and our children to conservation and make them proud to be African and know what is happening within the African landscape.
So for the last 15 years, Giraffe Conservation Foundation and its directors have been involved right here in Niger, helping to better understand what's going on with the population. One of the key things that we were involved with was the development of a national strategy, and this was the first national strategy ever in Africa for giraffe.
The aim of Niger's national strategy is to protect the remaining population of giraffe, including establishing satellite populations to diversify the risk of having the last of the species all in one area. This starts by identifying suitable habitats where the giraffe will be protected. Gadabaji Biosphere Reserve was historically home to West African giraffe and is the first location to be selected. It is the ideal habitat for a new population to thrive, thanks to abundant food, water, and protection. Seeing these icons return to Gadabaji will be a source of national pride for communities, NGOs, and government alike. The first challenge is figuring out how to translocate the giraffe over 700 kilometers to their new home.
There's a vehicle with the veterinarian, driver, and in the back is the capture, 6 people maximum.
To carry out conservation activities in this part of the world is very challenging. First of all, because of logistics, of course. It's, everything is far away, is remote. What kind of truck are we going to use? Okay, let's analyze the roads we will face. Almost 750 kilometers of paved road, and then a laterite in very bad condition. We clearly need a special truck. So we said, all right, maybe we could ask the support of the army, because we know they use these trucks and there is a good maintenance of these trucks. After solving this issue of the truck, now is the trailer. All right, so let's put it from scratch.
The Sahara Conservation Fund was established in 2004 to conserve the region's embattled fauna and flora. In Niger, the Giraffe Conservation Foundation works with the Sahara Conservation Fund collaboratively to implement targeted giraffe conservation and management activities in support of the Niger Giraffe Conservation Strategy.
If you take it to the end. To the outside, eh?
I've got 242.
Maybe we have another option. Because he said...
All right, so a boma. We're in a silent country. So where are we going to get these poles? Because we were talking about 800 pieces of wood.
The boma is a holding enclosure that's so tall that the giraffe can't see out. We just can't take a wild giraffe, stick it on a truck and move it hundreds of kilometres. So we bring them in, they calm down, they get used to us, and when we put them on that truck, in a few weeks' time, they're safe to go. There's no specific science how long it's going to take. We let the individuals dictate when they're ready. And in this case, we think the giraffe are going to be in the boma for about 3 weeks.
This translocation is probably one of the most challenging activities I had to do here in Niger. And I will be proud once these giraffes will be in Gadabeji in their historical range.
The first ever giraffe capture in the Kouri region of Niger is about to begin. A team of vets, government officials, community members and conservationists prepare to capture one of the rarest animals on Earth.
We're going to start this afternoon by catching some of the giraffe. You run with the animal until the giraffe slows down. It'll come to a stop, and then you cross the rope behind it, you pull the legs together, and down it goes.
Dr. Pete Morkel is a wildlife veterinarian. He's basically written the book on giraffe translocations. Worked across the whole of Africa. Well known for his rhino, but he's an amazing giraffe whisperer. So he's a critical part of our team, not only to capture them, but to figure out how to make the boma, how to feed them in the boma, and when is the right time to move this giraffe.
Elle est devant nous, mais donc il faut mettre la corde au niveau de...
You've got to be organised, you've got to have a bit of experience, you've got to know what to do. So we do a bit of practice, a bit of a dry run using people running around.
No, don't cross.
Until we finally get to a point where we're confident that we can actually go out there and dart a giraffe. So each giraffe has been caught individually. We identify a giraffe which is suitable age, suitable sex. It takes 2 or 3 minutes, the drug kicks in. Sometimes they'll go down quite quickly, sometimes they'll give us a bit of a run. At the right stage, we'll pull ahead of the giraffe and using the ropes, pull it down and quickly give the antidote. After giving the antidote, that animal is totally awake. Well, from my side, I'm concerned about the safety of the giraffe, but of course we have to be careful of people as well.
After recording measurements, checking its age and taking blood samples, the team prepares to stand the giraffe up and lead it into the translocation trailer. Successfully in, the first giraffe is quickly transported to the holding boma.
L'éducation qui est impliquée dans le cadre de l'éducation environnementale des enfants pour voir comment les gens vont s'approprier la ressource, comment ils vont grandir avec ça. Et quand les enfants comprennent ça, je crois qu'il y aura moins de problèmes que ceux que nous avons fait pour décimer ces espèces quand elles existaient. Donc il y a plusieurs acteurs qui sont impliqués, le tourisme, les agents de développement communautaire, les autorités régionales, les autorités locales, les chefs de tribus. La conservation va partir dans le sens positif parce que les communautés ont compris.
With the giraffes safely in the boma, Pete, Julian and the team head back to dart and capture the remaining 7 giraffes.
Giraffe don't like to be alone, so as soon as you've got that first giraffe in the boma, you need to get out there quickly and find another one. So when they're together, they feel safe. Unlike many other animals, giraffes don't live in the one herd. They have a fission-fusion relationship, which means they come together and go apart. So in any day, they can be with 5, 10, 100 different giraffes. And this is really helpful when it comes to translocations. You're not splitting up herds because there is no giraffe that live in one single herd.
We've got 8 animals here, 3 males and 5 females. We could have caught more, but we decided 8 was a good number, 2 loads of 4. We haven't done this trip before, so rather be careful.
So the best way to calm down a giraffe is through its stomach. You feed them lovely food, and after a few days, they'll even take food out of your hand. So our goal is that these healthy giraffes are going to head out into a new landscape and over time repopulate. Our best estimates from the 1700s have giraffe across almost all of Africa, with the exception of the equatorial rainforests and Sahara. We believe that there was more than 1 million giraffe across Africa. Today, our best estimates are about 111,000 in the wild. The biggest thing that's impacting giraffe is people. Habitat loss and habitat fragmentation are the biggest impacts on giraffe in Africa. There's just not enough land for them. If there's not enough land, there's not enough food. In East Africa, they've declined by more than 50% in the last 30 years alone. As you move across Central Africa, numbers dwindled by more than 95%. This is where giraffe have been hardest hit. Civil war and unrest, lots of poaching, all of these issues have combined. And then you go to West Africa, the only giraffe population is in Niger. They're gone from the rest of the region. It's crazy. There's just over 600 odd animals left in the wild.
With the rate of decline increasing, Julian's work has never been more urgent.
I had no interest in wildlife as a kid at all. And then I was lucky enough as a 16-year-old to live in South Africa and totally changed my perspective on life. I don't have any early memories of giraffe at all. I had no clue they were in trouble, but I realised that I wanted to do something important in life. I think I'm motivated by, the small things, and those small things grow into bigger things. When I came to Namibia and worked in the northwest and started looking into giraffe more and more, I realised there was hardly anything out there. So, it became something as a bit of a passion, and that turned into what is GCF today. I'm married to Steph, who's obviously my best mate, and we've got 2 gorgeous kids, Luca and Molly. We truly live life together, and we go out in the field together, we ride bikes together, we walk the dog together, but it's an amazing thing to be able to share what we do. Every day is different. I'm either sitting at a desk here in Namibia, and the next week I could be in Ethiopia, Niger, USA. Could be a whole host of things, working on the ground, doing field work, catching animals, translocating them, or standing up in front of a massive audience trying to raise awareness and support for giraffe conservation. No 2 days are the same, and I think that makes it really interesting, but where possible, we try to do it as a family.
Giraffe conservation is not just about protecting giraffe. The giraffe are what conservationists call an umbrella species. Protection of them offers protection to other species that share the same habitat. Julian's research is revealing how wide-ranging giraffe actually are. If these ranges can be protected, then all species living within them will indirectly benefit. After 3 weeks in their holding boma, the 8 West African giraffe are ready for the journey to their new home in Gadabaji Biosphere Reserve.
We're just putting on the last little pieces for the truck. Hopefully we'll get it in place soon and give the giraffe a little bit of a feed, and tomorrow we'll be on our way.
This is the most dangerous part of the entire process. If one of the giraffe trips in the vehicle, there's a chance that it will die. The team takes every precaution to make sure the move goes smoothly. The first 4 giraffes are loaded onto the waiting truck to begin the 700-kilometer journey to the reserve.
Everyone ready?
Get ready. Pull! Pull!
The remaining 4 giraffes soon join them on the road. And the first ever translocation of West African giraffe begins.
Hello, chaps. Hello, fellows.
We've just been on the road for at least a day and a half so far. We're coming into Gadabaji area. We've still got another 50 kilometres through really deep sand.
Okay, maybe some sand here. Wait. Wait.
Okay, a bit forward. Tim, to go forward.
After almost half a century since the last West African giraffe was seen in Gadabaji, a new generation prepares to take their very first steps in the reserve.
Everyone to the side. There's no doubt that it's hard work and more than a year's worth of work gone into that one moment. So relief, I think, was the biggest one, but, you know, pure joy. I think we've done an amazing job and that's just the start of it.
Ça fait 48 ans maintenant que la girafe a disparu de la réserve de Gadabaji. Donc le fait de réintroduire cette espèce dans la réserve, c'est vraiment une fierté nationale, disons, parce que c'est pour la première fois qu'il y a eu la translocation d'une espèce d'une zone à une autre. Donc c'est vraiment une fierté pour nous.
Over the last few years, we've translocated more than 100 giraffe into more than 6.5 million acres. We work continent-wide. So this translocation will be followed by another one, and another one, and another one. So it's the first important step for the West African giraffe, but one of many across the continent.
In order to conserve giraffe and the diverse ecosystems they inhabit, Julian needs to better understand where giraffe move, how much space they need, and how they utilize their habitats across a range of different environments.
It's been 20 years since we started then, and we've had many evolutions of giraffe collars and units since then. This is a head harness, and it was developed by a company in South Africa. Fits onto the head between the ossicones. It went like this and sat perfectly, and the strap went all the way around. But as you can see, it's quite cumbersome, and it's a little bit heavy. It's about 1 kilogram or so in weight. It worked awesome on Southern African giraffe because they don't have a middle ossicone or a bump on their head.
Okay. Just try to get that down. 1, 2, 3 better. Okay. There you go.
Unfortunately, we've got 4 species of giraffe and it just doesn't fit. So gone is that one, and we came up with a tiny little prototype. And so this goes onto the ossicone. And we were wondering, well, there's a lot of batteries in the one that went around the head, but how do we fit those batteries into such a small unit? Solar power, ingenious. So this little unit here, you know, it just looks like a little black box. It sends a signal every hour, a GPS coordinate, the temperature, and all of this information we can help then record where the giraffe has been moving. All of this is giving us huge amounts of data that we're analysing to figure out, what does the giraffe do every day? Where does it move? Seasonally, does it go into one area or another? We can provide that information back to governments, other conservation organisations, to help them manage giraffe on the ground. As an example, in northern Uganda, we've seen giraffe move into South Sudan. No one ever thought that they did it. And so as a result, we've been able to work with the Uganda Wildlife Authority to place anti-poaching units close to the border to be able to monitor those giraffe. So we're using technology, working with local communities and government to help save giraffe in the wild.
The Twiga Tracker Initiative is the largest giraffe GPS satellite tracking study ever conducted on giraffe. Julian and a team of experts are in Zimbabwe to fit transmitters to wild giraffe.
And I think that's really important, just to get in there. Everyone's chipping in, doing a job. If you want to help, get in there. Just ask the guys, say, how can I help? How can I do this? Really exciting times. We're here in Zimbabwe, and it all starts here in the field right now. We've brought together the most amazing experts to come and collar and collect samples of giraffe in the wild.
Suitable individuals are identified, tranquilized and brought to the ground so the transmitters can be attached.
Can we get this right? I want it out this way. Slightly. It's there. Here it goes. Spare. Nah, it's good. Heels up. And it works.
24 length.
So 22 length.
So sometimes it looks a little bit stressful out there for the giraffe when you bring it down, but each one gets up safely. There doesn't seem to be any lasting effect. We're in it for a long game. That's really critical. So the short-term stress, hopefully, is the long-term gain. The GPS satellite units is a quantum leap forward in helping us to understand giraffe. The biggest home range for giraffe is something like 11,000 square kilometres. You know, this is a huge landscape, so if we're going to save giraffe, we need to understand where they're moving, day and night. What habitat are they using? Are they going into areas that are at risk?
It went very well. A lot of exercise for everybody.
Thanks very much. It was a great day. I mean, 7 giraffe in one day is a good effort. I mean, guys up in the air. Cannot thank you enough for that. We got 7 giraffe down, 7 up, happy, and 7 more to go.
I think today we've experienced something different as what we've been doing before. So I'm very happy. I'm learning something. Learning never ends.
A total of 14 giraffe are collared. In the years to come, these individuals will add vital data to the Twiga Tracker initiative, helping conservationists, governments and communities across Africa build a better understanding of these iconic giants.
Putting GPS satellite units on giraffe has helped us figure out so much. How far do giraffe move? Where do they move? But importantly, from things like anti-poaching and working with governments and other organisations, we can now put people at the front line where giraffe are moving and how to save them. There's no doubt that giraffe poaching has a big impact. They're a big animal and they have a lot of meat. So unlike elephant and rhino, which their parts are being traded internationally, just doesn't happen for giraffe. There is a lot of local use, there's no doubt about it, and the bushmeat trade is something that we need to get a better handle on.
The future of wildlife in general, and giraffe specifically in Uganda, is very bright according to me. It all begins with the supreme law of this country that has specific provisions for gazettement of places as wildlife protected areas and gives powers to conserve and protect wildlife for the benefit of Ugandans and the global world.
Uganda has seen a decline in wildlife poaching as a result of increased law enforcement and the growth of the Uganda Wildlife Authority. However, due to the scale of the problem, poaching does still occur.
Yeah, this is Julian and the team. I can see the pet is also there.
A giraffe has been spotted, with a snare cutting into its leg. The team works quickly to bring the 4-meter giraffe bull to the ground and remove the wire snare from its leg.
We spread it out. Pull the wire, pull the wire. Watch out, watch. Watch out.
Put it very close to the wound. Aha. Give that. That one is to stop insects and...
Once it gets up, okay.
Yeah, get up. That one's done.
Unbelievable.
See? Here's the small wire which had it.
That was an unbelievable...
Sadly, giraffe are injured by bushmeat poacher snares across the continent, adding to the pressure on remaining populations. Julian is in Uganda to translocate a new satellite population of Nubian giraffe from Murchison Falls National Park to the remote Pian-Upe Wildlife Reserve. By restoring wildlife habitats, the team's efforts are also boosting the economy through tourism, which in turn empowers local communities.
We're always excited to work with Uganda Wildlife Authority. The guys are awesome. On the ground, there's so much enthusiasm. They're passionate. You know, they get involved where most people don't really want to tread.
The giraffe became extinct in Pian-Upe. There was intensive armed poaching pressure. But now the scenario has changed. Uganda Wildlife Authority, together with management partners, they have invested to make sure that they restore the reserve. They have increased manpower, so the patrol and the research and monitoring within the reserve is now good, and we are seeing the animal populations actually increasing.
This is one of the most exciting moves for giraffe conservation in the wild, bringing back animals to Pian-Upe Wildlife Reserve after more than 25 years.
Is it not a male? They're up to that.
The capture team must identify healthy animals of the right age and size.
I think we have a candidate, so we shall let you know when it's started.
Okay, guys, we are ready.
We can see the giraffes there. Animal darted. You copy.
Drive away, drive away, drive away.
Unlike in Niger, the giraffe in Uganda are not living among a community. They are not as accustomed to people and are far harder to approach, making the team's job significantly more complicated.
Cross the road. Guys, be getting ready. Get ready. Horn.
Cross it.
We put in the earplugs because we don't want it to feel so much noise of the people who are walking around. So the earplugs have to make the animal calm. And then also we put the blindfold to make sure that the animal is as calm as possible before we load. It's a pretty good age. She's an adult, but from the appearance of the teeth, it seems she has never given birth. So this is a very good potential candidate for the reintroduction that we are making for Pian-Upe. Capturing and relocation of giraffes is a very, very high-risk undertaking, both to the personnel and also to the animals, because first of all, the animals are very fragile because of their anatomy, but also their physiology. Their bodies do not withstand drugs for a long time, but also there's a risk to injury for those humans who are handling the animals.
They can kick, and if they kick, giraffe kick is really strong. It can kill, it can break.
So we have to work as much as possible to make sure that we reduce that risk to a very, very minimum. Let's go. Turn the rope, head rope, turn the rope. Guys, cross the rope, cross the rope, cross the rope.
Collars down, collars down.
We're going to leave them in the boma for a day and then start the translocation tomorrow. Exciting times.
With the candidates all safely in the boma, unharmed and with minimal stress to the animals, the team decides that the journey to their new home can begin at first light.
So today's moving day. We're up really early. Lots of things have got to come together. Everyone's excited, but obviously a hell of a lot nervous. Got to get them in the truck and get them on the road. So let's see how we go.
From here to Pian-Upe through Mbare is 480 kilometers, of which around 420 is tarmac road.
And then when you take the long movement, rough roads, you know, lots of noise when you pass through townships and trading centers, and everyone gets excited, and then these animals can freak out due to this human pressure and noise.
And then around 64 kilometers is gravel. And this gravel is black cotton soil, so if it rains, it's very slippery.
We've just come off the tar onto the Murrum, not too far ahead now, but she's a bumpy road ahead and there's a lot of rain around, so we'll see how we go, eh?
We are stuck here at a very bad section of the road. Deep gullies, floods, it has been raining up in the hills, so we hope we can get through this.
Sometimes hard, but you don't hold your nerves.
So we're about to enter Pian-Upe Wildlife Reserve. It was crazy last section. It's just taken hours and hours to get through, but touch wood, we'll be there soon.
After 12 hours on the road, Julian, the Ugandan team and the 10 giraffe arrive in Pian-Upe.
Giraffe up there ready to go into the boma for the night, and we'll release them in the morning.
This is a proud moment. This is a great moment for us to see that as a generation, we are again restoring the true heritage of Uganda into areas where it used to be. It's a very proud moment for sure, for me and also for the country.
We're really excited to continue our partnership with the Uganda Wildlife Authority. I think what we have been able to do together shows it's one of the greatest giraffe conservation success stories across the continent.
Amazing, mate. Giraffe have just been reintroduced to Pian-Upe Wildlife Reserve after 25 years. Amazing. Uganda Wildlife Authority, what an awesome experience. Great work. Awesome partners together. Let's long live giraffe here again.
Uganda has seen an explosive growth in their giraffe populations. With several translocations, giraffe are fast repopulating their former range.
If giraffe goes extinct, it's because we are greedy, it's because we don't care what is the future of this planet.
I cannot imagine a world without giraffe. You know, it says so much that if we can't protect the world's tallest mammal, then what else are we going to protect? We need to do something, and we need to do it now.
To date, Julian and his team have helped to increase and secure giraffe range by over 6.5 million acres across the continent. Their work now supports giraffe conservation initiatives that concern all 4 species of giraffe and their subspecies in 16 African countries.
Giraffe are an important component of an ecosystem, and by saving giraffe, we also save their habitat and then the habitat for other animals.
Awareness around the challenges facing giraffe has increased significantly over the past decade, and there have been numerous success stories throughout the continent. But if a silent extinction is to be prevented, there needs to be increased commitment at every level, from communities through to governments, to support the work being done on the ground in order to secure a future for giraffe in Africa for generations to come.